But
So I mean, what would you say that you like? Kind of like you said that I'm gonna choose it for you. Like I'm gonna choose it for myself.
That's the thing, right? So what made me choose it for me, God, because I didn't really have an appreciation for it because I didn't get it the way it was traditionally given. Like I didn't have to do not only that, God, but I didn't have to go through what everybody else had to go through. Like you got to it all. Back then, God, traditionally you got it one at a time. You got supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, then you would move on to the student enrollment, or I know certain brothers got it differently, but this is how my father gave it to me, and it was one thing at a time. You just didn't get a whole 120 and was able to study. And this, then you can find it online now. It's crazy now. You know what I mean? So to get it, then not only that, but then if you misquoted a degree, you know what I mean, you was getting bombed. You know what I mean? You was getting flag snatched. This is what I seen with my own physical eyes, God. You know what I mean? Like this is how it was. They didn't play. So with me, it was like it was at my disposal. God, it was the book of life was laying around the house, and I didn't really have the pressure or I didn't have to go through let's say the normal route to get what it was that I got. You know what I mean? Or the way that everybody else got it. So
you didn't really appreciate it.
Not only did I not appreciate it, God, it was like it was kind of like whatever, God. Because I mean, you gotta keep in mind, God, we young, you 9, 10 years old. It's like it's like anybody who grows up in any type of culture / religion at a young age, you really, it's almost like you're forced to go. You're only going because your parents are making you go. You know what I mean?
Right.
And once it got to the point where, okay, I said, well, they no longer got to make me go. I'm going to, choose this for me, because once I learned who God was and I accepted that I was God, and I said, okay, well, I got to be able to show and prove that. And be able to show and prove that and be able to teach that, I got to know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I dove into it, God, and I started asking questions. I started picking my father's brain, and I started picking my mother's brain, and I started asking questions. I'm like, now I got to, you can't, because there's nothing more than dealing with somebody or building with somebody who don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So I started asking questions, and I started getting into, with this man and with that man. You know what I mean? And how do I, the breakdown of the flag. It was just so many small, meticulous things, but it was tedious. It was a tedious process, God.
You never had like a mystery God.
I never had that
in your life. Like or that teaching in your life.
Never had that teaching in my life. Never had that experience. Like some gods would tell me, when they was in the dead world before they got knowledge, they'll say, like one of my brothers, he said, God, pork ribs taste way better than beef ribs. And I'm like, God, but I never had that. I never know that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? But he experienced that because he was in the dead world. So like most brothers, when they get knowledge, they have already experienced certain life. They already have certain life experiences that I don't have, God, and I never will. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I was born into it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I didn't necessarily, wonder what it was. You know what I mean? So, but I don't got. It's one of those things where I tell people.
You wondered about the mystery God? Or?
No. I didn't wonder. I didn't wonder about that. I'm talking about the food aspect though. But I always tell people that if they, some people will tell you that the best teacher is experience, and I'm like, no, that's not the best teacher. That is a teacher, but the best teacher is learning from somebody else's mistakes. You know what I mean? So if God told me, he said he had pork ribs before and they taste better. Okay, cool. So if I want to know about it, I just go build with the God. I don't gotta do that. You know what I mean? Like I know that that's that goes against our dietary law. You know what I mean? So I didn't wonder about it, but I had to learn about that as well, because if I was going to teach them, you know what I mean, I got to be able to show them how what they doing is not right and exact. You know what I mean? Like what makes you what's the quality degree? And I think the 1 to 14, what keeps our, why does the devil keep our people illiterate? You know what I mean?
Right.
So to utilize them as a tool. You know what I'm saying, God? So it's a slave. You know what I mean? So what I got to do is, in order, sometimes you got to go use their own shit against them in order for them to say to themselves, damn, point certain things out to them. And it's like, but so I didn't really get into, the Bibles. I know some guys, they know the Bible. They know. I don't know the Bible, but I know certain things in the Bible to be able to point out to them, to be able to kind of show them that there's no such thing as the mystery God. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to, and this little small stuff. You know what I mean? But for the most part, God, it was it was a journey, and it was a journey, God. It was a journey, and I loved it, and it was something that I would say was it was bittersweet. It was bittersweet because it was tough, God. My father was tough. He did not play with these lessons. He didn't care who who it was, and even though I was just we were his children, I was his child. He wasn't as tough on me as he was, or as he could be, or as I saw him do or be with other people. But at the same time, he wasn't easy on me as well. You know what I mean? And I loved it and I appreciated that because just that nepotism. You know what I mean? It's she took the part of this. That nepotism comes into play when you start dealing with your own children. You know what I mean? Like, you don't treat your own. A lot about what I've seen is a lot of brothers don't treat their children the way they treat their students. You know what I mean? Like they're able to get away and do a lot of things that they wouldn't accept from anyone else. You know what I mean? But even outside of my father, the other thing is I had a lot of elders around that I can go. Because sometimes my father, it'd be hard. It's almost like I don't know if you ever experienced having your old dad trying to teach you how to play a sport or a game. You know what I mean? And he's extra hard on you, and it's like, come on, man. I mean, he's like, give me a break, cut me some slack. So sometimes like I had to do that. I had to go to some of the other elder gods. I would go to Shasha. I would go to Knowledge Divine. Sometimes I would go to Dumar. It all depends on what it was that I was looking, striving to get, striving to be. You know what I mean? So, but to have that at my disposal, that was a blessing. That was a blessing in disguise, guys. So, okay. But it's the order of how it is. So we going.
Okay.
I like this INFMEGA. Do it again.